Hi, this is Dana, and on this channel I speak about spiritual warfare. In this video, God has guided me to talk a little bit more about the topic which I presented in the previous video, namely the message I delivered from God regarding the new phase of ascension. And specifically, God asked me to talk a little bit more about how individuals should take advantage of this moment and how to take advantage of the Karmic board meeting upcoming next month. Now, what happens, this is a new phase of ascension because on planetary level, a specific type of bondage has been broken. This is basically part of the situational karmic cycle ending from the end of last year. So essentially, in the last karmic board meeting, there was a decision because specific bondages were broken to end a situational karmic cycle, which meant the karmic board meeting in December last year decided to nullify certain contracts, to end basically that situational karmic cycle. That implies a lot because it's on planetary level, okay? So it's for the entire Earth. So that involves a lot, many decisions. And of course, as I said many times, it's a process, it plays out in time. Even if the decision of the karmic board meeting was to nullify certain contracts on soul level or so on, still it takes time to play out. And basically what is happening now at the next karmic board meeting, the new cycle begins. Because in between the two, for the last few months, everybody has been working consciously or unconsciously under a time frame dedicated to concretely in material existence close up that situational karmic cycle. Judgment, divine judgment took place. Certain decisions were made. Tests were given to everyone to make sure that that doesn't get recreated. So it took time, and it's still developing, right? Now at the next karmic board meeting, what happens is that decisions are made for the new cycle. That means entirely new situation. And as I explained in the previous video, that also means God redesigning the entire bondage breaking strategy and ascension strategy. That also means recreating assignments for individuals, for couples, for groups, for nations, for whatever, however you want to group individuals. So everything is basically reshaped. This is a great opportunity, obviously, because at this point in time, many individuals can bring their own contribution. Normally, at this point in time, individuals should be very much aware and conscious about the spiritual fighting they are called to do, the assignment they came here to have. Clearly, different individuals became aware more or less about this. They maybe became aware too late, while they made certain mistakes or certain bondages were created against them or whatever. Now, this is why the next karmic board meeting is a great opportunity, because at this point in time, especially after you went under judgment from divine realm, everybody should be aware, everybody should be conscious. All decisions from now on should be made on conscious level. By now, everybody should be very much consciously aware about what is going on around them. Or in other words, the usual language used, everybody should awake now, should be awakened now. Okay, so this being said, it means that this is, in this lifetime, This is the first time when actually everybody has the opportunity to consciously make decisions and plans on how to handle this. Okay, even if they didn't fully understand before, whatever excuses everyone finds. Now, God has guided, so this is very important, obviously. God has guided me to talk about two things. One will be how you should structure your dialogue with the karmic board meeting. God has shown me that there are individuals who never done this. So then he asked me to give an example, and the example I give is, for example, that you should, as a structure of your letter, astral letter, you should first summarize your situation, reporting yourself to the situational karmic cycle ending, so the one that ended in December. So where were you at that point in time? So how did you end up that situational karmic cycle? And try to be as detailed as possible, particularly if you haven't been fighting spiritually on conscious level, or if you have done wrong things which are under judgment and punishment. This is an opportunity not to hide them, but to explain them. Explain why you think you went that way, what would you like to change, what kind of help you need, whatever. This is very important, because denying a reality then doesn't help you. This again is an opportunity for you to have a dialogue with the karmic board meeting, which means also that dialogue will be extended to the entire divine realm. When you do this, you must know that your spirit team from the divine realm intervenes in front of the karmic board meeting, asking them on your behalf for clemens, explaining things which you didn't explain, literally negotiating for you better advantages, so you can actually break that bondage, explaining what happened to you, because your spirit guides from the divine realm have been watching over you all the entire existence in this lifetime. So they know exactly what happened to you, when you were tricked, why you were tricked, what kind of help you need, and so on. So do not avoid to talk about that. And also God is showing to me just now to say, don't just be passive about it and think that since you already went under judgment, then it's a done deal and that's it. Explain yourself, because this is important, because first of all, that you might get a better situation. Second of all, you show to the karmic board meeting that you actually assimilate that into your thinking and planning. So you don't deny it. You don't just try to cover it up, but you're being honest, and honestly you're trying to deal with that. This is the first step in actually making right something that you've done wrong. Discuss about it in your letter. Explain what is to your understanding, but be honest, because they already know what you actually think for reality. Don't try to cover it up, but even it can show to them maybe that you have a lack of understanding of certain things. Maybe you don't understand consequences of certain actions. Explain everything. Also ask questions about that, to be revealed to you. Why was I tricked? Maybe you are not aware of some of the character faults, because many times this happens. People many times are in denial about themselves. I've seen this throughout all my life. They will say, I did this because I wanted to help you, but in fact, they did that in order to steal from you. But many times, individuals are in denial about their real reasons why they did this. Now, the problem is you shouldn't deny this. You should discuss this. So you should ask the karmic board meeting to be shown to you And you will be surprised to know, because most of the times the character faults that you have are the result of a darkness attachment. There is a darkness which at some point, either through your ancestral line, either through a generational curse, either through something, was put on you. And it wasn't necessarily your own thinking. It was that darkness which influenced you to be greedy for money instead of choosing the righteous path, the correct path. And the fact that you are not aware of that, this is important to clarify first for the karmic board meeting, but also for yourself. So you will understand that you are not aware about who you are and why you made that decision. This is essential part in your healing. You cannot heal something which you deny. You must understand this. So this is very important. There are many types of generational curses. I was shocked to learn this in my own spiritual fighting, that people make the stupidest curses possible, and these satanic and occult practices, convents, they make a specific type of curses with a ceremonial ritual. So they essentially make an attachment on you, a darkness attachment on you, in order to bring to fruition that curse. Because I asked God many times, I said, how come these creeps, they have so much power in their curses? Because I know from spiritual level that a curse which is not justified shouldn't actually have an impact on individuals. And God has shown me, they pretend it's a curse, but in fact what they do, they create a contract on that lineage or on that individual, an attachment. And basically this is how they created it. So these are issues which you must learn about yourself. I want to emphasize this. We are all in 3D. Hence, each and every single individual has these things created on them, one way or another, in different ways, depending on whatever ancestral line you come and so on. So you shouldn't be defensive. You shouldn't say, oh, no, I don't have this. Yes, you do. You just don't know about it. That's all. And this is an opportunity for you to learn. So this first point in your astral letter is very important for you. It's fundamental, actually, in assuring a proper understanding on your part of what exactly has happened, where you went wrong, why you went wrong, what you have to heal. For example, if you have done a lot of harm to other people, and you will learn through this letter, through the karmic board meeting, that you had an attachment, a darkness attachment from which was basically a generational curse created much earlier than you came into this incarnation, then I believe that this will be some sort of depersonalizing that problem. You will realize it's not an addiction. You will realize it's something that was created against your lineage, not just yourself. And you will understand what kind of fight you have to put up. I believe this is tremendous help, I would imagine. Because one of the biggest problems individuals have is that they accept the addiction, the so-called addiction. They say, I am addicted to this. No, you're not. You just don't put up the fight to understand what is going on and to fight it back. So this is very important. This step, particularly for those who actually went under judgment and punishment, this will be a tremendous help in your redemption. This would actually jumpstart your redemption on a right footing. This is very important. Because if you insist on trying to make it right but you don't understand it, you will repeat it, because it means there's a darkness attached to you which sooner will work on you continuously, and sooner or later will pull you back into the same mistake. So you must understand this. Okay, so this is the first point. The second point is write about your strategy, how you intend to deal with that. What lessons you learned from that situational karmic cycle and the judgment that you went through, what you think needs to be corrected, what you intend to do about it. So write your strategy of redemption. Or if it's not about redemption, Write your strategy about what you intend to do about loose ends from the previous situational karmic cycle. Is there something that is lingering on that you still have to deal with? Because that must be included in what you are supposed to do in this next phase. And that will show a proper understanding on your side that this is not over, and you still need to work on it and so on. So that's the second thing. And the third thing would be write your strategy for the new cycle. And here, try to think of what you want to do, what you aim to achieve, what would you like. You can ask, you can claim anything here. It doesn't mean it's going to be granted, but it's very important that you do, because this is an internal process. First of all, of you understanding what you're drawn to, what you feel you could do, what would you like to do. And this is very important, because there is nothing within you, regardless good or bad. There is no habit or no passion or nothing that doesn't have a significance. All has a root somewhere in your ancient past, in your ancestral line, in your lineage, in who you came here to be, in what purpose you have. And this is extremely important. God has guided me to actually talk about this, and to show that this is essential exercise for everyone to do this. This is an introspection, a reflection upon yourself, extremely important, because what happens, you need to remember things. You need to connect to your higher self. This is what actually the meditations are doing, are connecting you to your higher self, so you will remember things which were erased from or blocked from your memory through trauma bonding and all the 3D bondages created on you. This is why they created the 3 bondages on you, in order so you won't remember why you came here to do, who you are. Okay, so this the entire process of dialogue with the karmic board meeting and with God and so on, this is the first added value that you gain. The fact that you do introspection, which means that you essentially, you first of all, you connect to your higher self, so you remember things, you remember gifts, you remember abilities, you remember how to work with them. And you will see that most important ones will come to you naturally in this process, will not necessarily be taught to you. And God in his work with individuals to activate and teach abilities, I experienced this myself. Most times, many times, he will push me to remember myself, to do something, and I would do it naturally without thinking about it. And then I will ask why I did this, what does it mean, what kind of gift or power I have that I don't understand, you know. But while you do this, this is also a very healing process of yourself and your inner child, so you can actually integrate more, and you achieve or at least advance on your path to integrating into oneness, right? So this is very important process. You shouldn't just disregard it. Like initially also I thought, this is crazy, but then I saw the meetings of the karmic board meeting and many other councils in divine realm during my own spiritual fighting, when they would meet and discuss decisions on what to do next and so on. So I realized this really is serious, and then I actually saw the advantage of doing this. So this is very important. You must take advantage of this. This is the most important help in which you and the divine realm work together. You must ask about what kind of gifts, what kind of embodiments you had. For example, you must ask in the past phase of ascension, which ended last year, what kind of embodiments you carried, and what were you supposed to achieve, and why you failed. This is very important. What kind of gifts you have. Some attacks and bondages are created on your gifts. For example, as a prophet, I have the gift of seeing in many different ways and dimensions. I even more than that, I have I don't know how to say this, the gift or well, the point is I'm not going to enter into that because this is not about me. But there are specific type of darkness attacks about gifts, and for those who have the gift of seeing, there are attacks which are automatically launched at you when you start seeing, and especially when you start working with your gift, like sharing the word of God, sharing with others the visions you have, sharing, teaching, and so on. And essentially what happens is like, for example, when I have a vision, a revelation, a dialogue with the divine, then instantly a lot of darkness attack will start out of nowhere, because it's embedded. It's sort of like a curse attached to practicing that gift. And you must understand that many of the faults you have, maybe you have them because you have a specific gift, and they created a bondage on your gift. And it was not necessarily so much your own decision making, but it was just the fact that you had that gift and that they wanted to stop you from using that gift. So you must ask about your gifts, about your ancestors, about your guides, about your lineage, about the embodiments you did so far, and about the embodiments you intend to do, because this will clarify many things to you. And once you know that an attack is launched at you because you have a gift, then you already start envisaging some sort of strategy on how to deal with those attacks. And you must ask as many questions as you can, so you can learn as much as possible about the past situation, so you can better understand what happened, but also about the future situation, so you can understand how to position yourself to better take advantage of the situation. Now, regardless of all of this is why I said the most important added value of this dialogue with Karmic board meeting is that you do an introspection on yourself, okay? But the God and the divine realm will come and will basically decide exactly what is beneficial for you at this point in time, for the simple fact that they have a broader picture of other threats that are out there and which will come at you, or other threats that are embedded in the embodiments which you require, which you might not be prepared to face as of this time. You see, like this stupid neighbor of mine who always is doing scrying at my dogs when I make a video in order to stop me from making videos. So maybe God will decide to show you that you have a stupid neighbor like this one who's trying to steal your destiny. This hoe here actually is trying to steal my destiny, and she became so delusional that she thinks she's me. You cannot imagine what a challenge this is. Yeah, so there might be situations in which God or the divine realm will show you or will decide differently, and you must keep in mind, first of all, it might be something related to the situation, to the circumstances at that particular time, which basically make it impossible for you or not beneficial for you to take on that embodiment. It doesn't mean you have to give it up. If it's something that you want to do, God will make a way for you to do it at some point in time. Maybe not right then when you ask it. Maybe you're not ready yet. Maybe you are supposed to do that in working with somebody else who's not ready. Maybe you're supposed to do that in a totally different location than where you are now. There are many factors which play into that, you know. But if there is something that you would like, just write it down, because at some point, sooner or later, you might be able to accomplish that, to receive that from the divine realm, or the divine realm can shape up in different way. the fact of the matter is that they will love working with you, and they would love to see, no matter what you did in the previous cycle, the karmic board meeting and the divine realm would love for individuals, particularly from the karmic ones, to engage in a dialogue with them, because this is the path actually of ascension. You cannot be ascending without that. You cannot go on your spiritual path without having a dialogue with the divine realm. So basically, I would recommend to use this opportunity, first of all, in order to help yourself with a proper introspection, to prove this way to the divine realm that you are reflecting upon what was you done, what was done to you, why it happened this way. It will show your interest to learn more honestly about why you did that, and they will show to you, regardless of what you think, they will show to you whatever you're missing from the picture. And this will be a tremendous help. And it will also help you to make a plan, actually. Because the second point, which I said, write your strategy on how to tie up the loose ends from the previous cycle. This is what it is the basis of your strategy and plan for the next phase. And then you add to that what you would like to achieve further, going further. I said this many times, and I will say it again. Regardless where you are in your spiritual path, you can claim something. Like, for example, in both situations, if you are in under redemption or not, if you're just on your spiritual path, you can claim something. You can say, I would like, for example, I claimed to break the bondage. I claimed the bondage for many of my ancestors, because it's very special being to me. It's very special soul to me. And I said, I want to break this. And if you claim that, then, which is not yours, it's somebody else's bondage, and or you might not break it completely, but you might be able to do something to advance that breaking of the bondage. Then you will be rewarded. So especially for those under redemption, or for anyone who wants to accelerate their elevation, or anyone who has ancestors whom they truly love, and just want to do something out of gratitude for the help they receive from ancestors, they can do this. And this will be rewarded. This will help you a lot. So you can say, I want to break the bondage for this individual. Then that will be revealed to you what kind of bondage was, how you can help, and so on. This is a great opportunity, and this is a way of you connecting to the entire divine realm, to your entire divine team, to do an introspection. And each and every one of these will transmute darkness from your body, from your energy. This is very important, because you're in direct connection with the divine realm and with divine team. I think broadly, this is a sum up of points that you should make in your letter to the karmic board meeting. Again, you should ask about the gifts you have. You should ask for help to learn how to work with them, what you can achieve. You throughout all this, you have to have in mind the creation phase. So you must make a plan to see how you will use your gifts. Okay, right now you're learning about your gifts, and you're breaking the bondage, you're doing the redemption, whatever you're doing. But then, if tomorrow you will have all of this done, how would you like your gift to be manifesting, contributing, and how would you work with it? What would you do in working with that gift? You would build a project, you will build a business, come up with a plan and with things which you want to achieve, because the karmic board meeting, and especially God, can work with you from this point forward in such a way so on each step of your journey you will build one more brick or two more bricks for the path of that becoming a reality, in manifesting that which you plan. But if you don't plan anything, there's nothing to manifest, right? So I started making plans on what to do with my gifts early on, before I started my spiritual journey. Actually, I even posted on my Facebook account page, on my Facebook page at the time. I posted some of the projects which I intended to do. I must say, at this point in time, many of those projects either disappeared or were reshaped into different type of projects, as I better understood throughout my fighting current realities. But I do keep track of the initial plans I had, and from time to time God says, this might be possible in the near future. You can revive that plan if you want. So it's important for you to do this again, if nothing else, at least because this keeps channels of communications between you and the divine realm open. That means healing, that means help, and this is important. This also shows to them ways in which they can create surprises for you. They can give you a reward for something by creating, bringing into being something that you desire. Yeah, they will push you towards what is beneficial for you anyhow. These prophetic writings were not in my plan to do. That was something that God wanted me to do. But I did want to tell everyone how to defend themselves, because I thought and I still think that's the fair thing to do. And this is the first and most important way in which these scripts which do gang stalking and attacking me and others can be defeated, when everybody knows how to defend. So that was the first thing I wanted to do. But I never thought of prophetic writing. I never thought of writing publicly. I wasn't thinking in these terms at that time. Yeah, actually, that was something that I wasn't planning to do at all, because I always, throughout my adult life, I worked in a public institution, and part of the institutional procedures, you're not allowed to do this, to have a public voice or to express your views in public on certain things. You could only express your views within the framework of procedures, internal procedures. You were not actually allowed to come out in public and speak. So I never did that, and I wasn't planning to do that. This is why I started doing that 6-7 months after I resigned from the institution. Anyhow, this is what I recommend that you write in your letter to the astral letter to the karmic board meeting. This will be a great opportunity for you. If God is pushing me to talk more about it, I understand that there are some people who actually are not inclined to do that. I highly recommend you do that. This is very important. This is your way in, God is showing to me now to say, also ask for clements, ask for dispenses. Yes, basically you have to argue why you consider you deserve it, and how you intend on taking advantage of that dispense. So you must put it in a context. I intend to do this and that in order to pay for what I did. And so, but you can transform it. This is what God is saying to me, is that you can transform your redemption into something active, namely that you can envisage something you want to do, and you can do something for the greater good of ascension of humankind or a certain individual that you have done wrong. So you can choose from your victims a few individuals or one, and you can say, because I've done so much wrong, I intend to do this and this and this in order to right the wrong I've done towards this individual, or so on. So God is saying to me that you must do, or it's beneficial for you to do your redemption in an active manner, meaning you would be the one to propose ways in which you can right the wrongs you have done, because that will show, that will bring you closer to the divine realm, and you will get more support in achieving it, and also more rewards. Okay, it doesn't help you to be resentful about redemption and just sit in a corner, be depressed, and do nothing. That's, I think, what God is trying to convey to whoever. Okay, I'm gonna stop here because this is already a long video. So this is the astral letter to the karmic board meeting. This is a great opportunity for you to first do introspection, second, create a direct dialogue with the divine realm, which is healing in itself, but it also will teach you about ways in which you should heal yourself and you should work with your gifts, and will clearly help you on your spiritual path, right? Okay, I'll talk to you in the next video then.